And I believe it was a silent film. Bollywood is such a huge part of world culture now, and so this is a great way to sort of discover our roots and enjoy a film that's won wide acclaim. We're just really thrilled about it. The program starts at 10 a.m. and probably after some brief introductions, The Forgotten Woman will be screened. And then in the afternoon around 3 o'clock, we'll be screening Harish Chandra's Factory.
Now, you mentioned that this event is free and has been free for many years. How are you able to continue this, particularly with all the cutbacks that we know that are occurring in the arts these days?
Putting SALTAF on this year in 2009 has been a real challenge. As everybody knows, we're facing some hard economic times. SALTAF, like you said, is completely free and open to the public. And the way that we do that is we have some generous supporters and some generous sponsors. And I'd really like the opportunity to recognize them here, if you don't mind. Some of our sponsors include the Amit Jangrani Foundation, the Keybridge Marriott, who very graciously donated rooms for our artists, Escargot Studio, who does the design of all of our materials, the U.S. Department of Bhangra, the Sri Lankan Embassy, a generous grant from the Virginia Foundation for the Humanities, and of course, Darshan TV. Darshan reaches the South Asian community of Metro DC, and so without the support of this network, I mean, we would have some empty auditoriums.
Now, we talked about the two movies that are going to be screened. Can you tell our viewers any other highlights that they may want to expect from the festival?
Sure. There's going to be 2 literary panels, which we've divided up by theme. As Shalini mentioned earlier, one is going to be addressing the diaspora community of South Asians, and the other one is going to be addressing economic and social systems that are still somewhat in place within our communities.
So who's participating in the panels this year? Who are some of the authors?
Well, we've got 5 really renowned authors, some of whom are new and some of whom are established. The 5 of them are Daniel Muinadin, and his collection of short stories, In Other Rooms, Other Wonders, has just been nominated to be a finalist for the National Book Award. Rue Freeman has also written a really great, groundbreaking novel, A Disobedient Girl. We have Tanya James and her novel, Atlas of Unknowns, Kamila Shamsi and her novel, Burnt Shadows, and also Dr. Kunal Basu and his short story collection called The Japanese Wife. The Japanese Wife, which Aparna Sen, who's the director of Mr. and Mrs. Iyer, has just selected one of the tales from A Japanese Wife to make into a film of the same name.
And I understand the authors will be there to sign their books
of course,
as well.
Very much.
One of the things that I think is really great about SALTAF is that you don't have to be super familiar with the authors in order to enjoy. The authors are there to get the word out on their books. So if you attend, you hear them read from their books, you hear a discussion about the themes in their books, you can go out, get the book, and right then and there, you can have it signed by the authors. Maybe you can talk to the authors. It's sort of a great venue for them to get the word out on their books, and for people who may not be totally familiar with the authors to enjoy their works.
Now, there may be aspiring writers and playwrights that are in the audience. I wonder if SALTAF is considering the future workshops and other ways to develop people that have an interest in writing and creating movies and documentaries.
As of now, there's not a formal group that's, sort of made itself a name or anything, but this is definitely a place where people should get together and, find others who are like-minded.
And be inspired.
Yes, definitely.
Just like any other community event, we're trying to bring awareness to South Asian arts, and so if this provides a forum to further a dialogue on writing and art and theater and directing and producing, then that's a great added bonus.
Now, SALTAF has been in existence for 9 years, and I just wondered, as organizers, if you found that there have been any trends among South Asian authors and playwrights, if you find that they're grappling with issues more with the South Asian diaspora or more about their experiences in the United States and Canada, if there's been a mix.
I feel, from my general reading, I feel like a lot of South Asian themes have taken a bit of a departure from addressing some of the sort of rehashed identity issues that we've all sort of been through. And everyone knows about the ABCD, everyone knows about the FOB, everyone knows about the, living in different worlds, in your house and living in an American or Western life. And I think that while those are still very relevant and those still are colors that shape our lives, there's also, as we move forward, as we grow up and we establish ourselves, there are other themes that become addressed. And I think that authors are recognizing that, and they are including that in their work. And it's not just about being the only brown kid in your class now. There's other issues that are now being interweaved in those stories. And while that's still a part of it, it's not the main focus.
Another thing that sort of has progressed the dialogue is that we find a lot of stories about the South Asian diaspora, and a lot of countries that maybe folks may not have known that a South Asian diaspora exists. Some of the authors that are coming to SALTAF, and I won't give away too much, feature stories of South Asians in countries like Japan. So it's really a quite a fascinating thing to have so many novels and stories and collections and artists focusing on this aspect of South Asian diaspora.
One more time, can you give our viewers the details about the festival?
Absolutely. The South Asian Literary and Theater Arts Festival takes place on Saturday, November 7th. The doors open at 10 a.m. sharp. It's at the Baird Auditorium at the Natural History Museum, the Smithsonian on the National Mall. We look forward to seeing you there.
Well, thank you, Shalini and Sujatha, for that special sneak preview.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And for our viewers, please stay tuned. We have coming up a special Darshan panel on the healthcare reform debate.